Hey, greetings, friends and colleagues. It's Sam Collins, the coding and billing expert for chiropractic, for you, and of course for ChiroSecure, with your update. This month, big update, big news, and of course, because it's always what happens October 1st. But let's have a little bit of a riddle here. When do the 2026 diagnosis codes begin? And of course, you might think, well, it's got to be 2026, right, Sam? Well, not so fast, my friend. Let's go ahead. Let's go to the slides. Let's talk about what's going on, what's specific to the profession, and let's update. Obviously, we do get updates to codes for diagnosis every October 1st. If you recall, over the years, we've had changes to multiple disc codes last year, the new disc codes with pain in the back, pain down the leg, or both. And we've also had changes to back pain codes, numerous ones. So every year there's an update. This year is no different. It begins October 1st. Keep in mind that means any date of service that is October 1st or later will use the new codes. But if you're building something, say in November, and the services were in September or before, that means the old codes will still apply. So there's that little bit of transition period. By the way, this marks the 10th anniversary of ICD 10. And remember when everyone thought the world was going to end when that happened? Of course it didn't. So let's update what's going on here. Obviously, I'm going to argue I'm going to be very chirocentric. You'll see here there are 74,719 codes. Are you ever going to need that many? My goodness, no. In fact, I bet many of you say, hey, Sam, I've been in practice for 30 years, and I bet if I went through all of my codes, you may have built no more than 50 codes your entire career. And of that 50, there may be 15 or 20 that you use most of the time. And I'm going to say that's likely true. So therefore, I'm chirocentric in when these codes update, do they update specific to what we need to do? And so let's take a look. There's 487 new codes. You might think, whoa, there's 28 deletions and 38 revisions. You have to look and go, well, are these going to pertain to me? So that's where I kind of delve through that a bit, because here's a listing of lots of codes that have updated. You'll see here things like primary hyperoxaluria, deficiency causing arterial calcification. So there's lots of codes that may update. This is the entire list. And of course, it's bigger than this. I'm just giving an example. What I do is I call through that to say, well, what's specific to us? When we think of it, what do chiropractors treat? Well, the human body and condition. But when we're billing insurance, of course, it's going to be neuromusculoskeletal codes. So generically, what I try to do is to kind of comb through that to give you the codes that are going to be specific that you more likely may use. So a code that is being thrown out this year as of October 1st will be the code for pelvic and perineal pain. The current code, the code that will be changed, is R10.2. That means after October 1st, you're not going to use that code, but instead change to these codes. So if you've been using codes for pelvic or perineal pain, you will need to update. I do like this change. They now have an unspecified side, which to me I never liked. It's like saying, well, there's pain in the pelvis, but I don't know which side. So you'll notice what they're indicating now is right side and left side, and if it's in both sides, or suprapubic. Now, is this going to be a very common code for doctors of chiropractic? Probably not, but it might add a little value on the basis of where the pain is if there's some SI issues and or low back issues. So this certainly could add a little bit into the mix. Just make sure you've updated. In addition, they're deleting the code for a contusion to the abdominal wall. Now, this code, you're going to say, well, would I use this? I think quite a bit. As a chiropractor and you're treating personal injury claims, I think it's very common to have people with contusions to the abdominal wall, seatbelt injuries. And so therefore, if you're coding that, you have to remember this code is being deleted and they're going to add in some new codes. The new codes now are specific to contusion of the abdominal wall, but then we also have contusion of the groin or contusion of the flank. So by example, if the cross seat belt's there, maybe it's S30.13XA. Now I will highlight to everyone, you'll notice I only put the A designation. It does mean there's still a D and an S. I just only using this to give you the conference of that. Keep in mind, most often you're only going to use the A designation anyway. Why? Because that's the acute part of it. But remember, acute is the initial visit and all visits with active care. So therefore, it's most likely that's what you're going to use. Now, you might use sequelae, because if there were some residual factors that are associated with it. But the D you probably never use because that means after the phase of active care. But nonetheless, an update here, I think an important one for personal injury. Now, there's also some codes for abdominal pain. Now, I don't think this is going to be common for Doctors of Chiropractic. These are simply new codes. They don't update any other codes, but just add more codes into it because there is a code that says abdominal pain for multiple sites. It's just all over. But now you'll notice there's abdominal pain instead of it being in quadrants only. This is going to be tenderness, not necessarily pain, but tenderness. And so there's right flank, left flank, suprapubic, then flank tenderness unspecified or flank pain, and then of course the right and the left side are bilateral. So these add in a little bit more specificity. Is this going to be super common? Probably not. So I think what you're kind of picking up on is this year going to be a major change to chiropractic claims as far as new diagnosis? Not really, because you'll see here, there's another one. Oh, this is just a recapitulation of the one we had earlier. I apologize for that slide being there. But again, it's just simply going to indicate the abdominal wall. I do think it's important, again, for personal injury. Here's some other ones that have updated, but is this a common code for us? Varus deformities of the hip, progressive myositis ossificans, maybe, and then costovertebral angle, if you will, tenderness. Could that add some value into maybe multiple coding? Sure. But does it make a big difference to the common codes we use? I don't think so. Because here's another code that updated. Now, the reason I'm including this is just to make you aware they do update a lot of codes. Here's one for multiple sclerosis. Now, obviously, a chiropractor is not directly treating multiple sclerosis. However, what if you're treating a patient for a neuromusculoskeletal condition and they also have multiple sclerosis? Does that add a comorbidity or complicating factor to it? Absolutely. Just realize now they've updated it. Before they had one code for multiple sclerosis. We don't care what you had. And of course, they now give you all these specificity, relapsing, primary, active primary, non-active primary, which frankly, probably we're not going to use unless we're getting that from their primary provider. However, what would you do if you're not sure, but the patient just says, I have multiple sclerosis? If you don't verify with their provider for a code, at the very least, probably add in G35D. Keep in mind, these aren't going to be the primary reason for care, but solely to identify a complicating factor. So there you have it. You're like, well, wait, Sam, I thought there was a lot of changes. There's 487 codes. Yes, but we're Kairos specific. So it's only going to be those ones. No major updates to the common neuromusculoskeletal codes. Now, if you're a network member with me, reach out. I'll send you the entire list, of course, of all the common codes. That way you're on the mix with it. If you're not a member of it, I'm going to say be careful when it comes to diagnosis. Keep it to specificity and severity. Don't just throw spaghetti at the wall to have everything going. One of the things I will emphasize when you diagnose, what picture are you painting? You'll notice on the left side is a Monet painting. Now, if I asked you who was that woman in that picture, I don't think anyone could tell. So I'm going to show you over here from that old movie in the 90s, if you will, that said, someone's a Monet. A Monet means that they may be pretty, but from a distance, when you get close, it's a lot of makeup. I want you thinking, while I may like Monet paintings than I like more of Rembrandt's, the Rembrandt is how you want to diagnose. Give me the specificity of why the patient is there. I will suggest if you know the reason for pain, that would be the diagnosis. Always think of coding why there's pain, not simply pain. Keep in mind, diagnosis is going to set the tone for the necessity of your care. It's one of the things that we emphasize on our programs. So please make sure, if you've not part of the system or haven't done a seminar with us, there's one coming up this weekend where those of you who aren't network members with me will get the entire list of all the common codes from chiropractic, including spinal and extra spinal. Until next time, my friends, I wish you all the best.